Hello there. I'm Scotty, and you're not. And now we are covering The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler and Burt Reynolds and Chris Rock and Goldberg and Stone Cold. What? And the Great Khali. I don't know. Terry Crews, Michael Irvin, William Fichtner, Nelly. So yeah, and this is the story of Paul Crewe, who was known infamously for supposedly shaving points off a professional football game, but he got off. Said he was innocent, but years later, he gets into a drunk driving incident, not accident, incident with his girlfriend's car and gets sent off to prison. Now, the warden, played by James Cromwell, has talked him in to putting together a team of inmates to battle his team of guards in what they call a warm-up game. So it's up to Paul to put together a ragtag group of football players with the help of Caretaker, played by Chris Rock, and Nate Scarborough, played by Burt Reynolds. So, there's the synopsis. Now, this was one, when it came out, I think by the time I watched it, I knew it was a remake. The original one had Burt Reynolds in it, and it's cool they got him to come back. And I understand, like, here's the thing. If they did this nowadays, if they decided, hey, we're going to do a remake of The Longest Yard, it would be a requel, as they call it. And it would be set in the same universe as the original. You'd have Burt Reynolds. Well, he's not with us anymore, but if they did this in recent times before he passed, I'm just saying. You have Burt Reynolds coming back to play Paul Crewe, and we'd have a new character in a similar situation as the Paul Crewe in this film. I'm not exactly how close it is. I'm not exactly sure how close it is to the original, but yes. So we start with Adam Sandler and his girlfriend's house. She's having a little get-together party downstairs, and he's drunk off his ass, and he takes off in her car. He gets arrested after drunk driving, and he gets sent to prison. And at first, I'm like, I remember this, and I'm like, wait, how does this, when is drunk driving get you sent to prison? Well, apparently, that violated his parole, or his not parole, what is it? It's not a curfew. I can't think of the name. Say in the back here. No. It's also directed by Peter Siegel, who did 50 First Dates and he doesn't do I forgot what movie it said that he did. Peter Siegel, but yeah, I can't think of probation. He broke his probation. That's what it was. His probation. Which is why he got sent in prison. And it is said also that the warden pulled some strings. Pull the string. Pull the strings. And got him sent there, which I don't know how much clout he would have. I know he's trying to go for governor or whatever, but I don't know. And usually when you get sent to prison, I'm not an expert, don't you get sent to the one that's closest to you, right? And I think he was in California, right? So now all of a sudden he's in Texas? How does that work? I mean, it's right there, but across the border? And yes, you can say that everything that happens to the warden, yeah, he gets what he deserves because he pulled the strings and got crew there. So yeah, and we get this scene that's very weird. You got William Fichtner's character here. I forgot his name. I don't know all the names. I know a few of them. I know Paul Crew, Caretaker, Scarborough, Cheeseburger, Eddie, Brucey. There's a character named Papa John. I'm not sure which one that is. The Hammer. That's Goldberg. And I don't know any of the other. Than the Warden, but the Warden's name. Willie Fichtner's character tells him, that the Warden's going to ask you to play football, to do, football ready late thing. You're going to tell him no, because he doesn't run this prison. I do, and it's like, okay, but that never really comes back though. I'm just saying. And he says no to the football thing, but then they start talking about it, and he agrees to put together a ragtag team to face the guards. So, the first friend he makes in prison is Caretaker, who's like the next cell over, I guess. Convenient. And Caretaker is one of those guys that can get you anything you want, even cheeseburgers, and that's where Cheeseburger Eddie comes in. But he gets into a fight with a guard. I think that's where he agrees to put the team together, because it's like, I just want to serve my 3 years, all 3 years before you hit Captain, whatever his name is. And I'm like, now, like I said, I've never been in prison before. So is that, like, standard practice? Like, you attack a guard, you get extended, your prison stay gets extended, or is that just movie stuff? Because I've seen it happen in movies and TV before, but I don't know if that's actually, like, real life, I don't know. So he agrees to it, so they do the tryouts, as they call it. There's another character. He's not on the cover, so I didn't remember him. Tony. Tony, yes, played by Big Pussy himself. Is he on the back here? No. He's also in Spider-Man 2. You're gonna have to go to us. But yeah, yeah, so he has like a little ragtag group. You got Tracy Morgan leading these, I don't know, feminine prison characters. You've seen it in movies like Con Air. You have effeminate kind of characters. Apparently that is a real thing. Yeah. Really weird thing, but I'm gonna put this out now because I might forget it later. But later, when they're showing like footage and stuff, they saw Brucey with one of them. They're all laughing at him. And I'm like, wait, didn't Caretaker say earlier in the scene where he's introduced that it's common or something? Like, hey, there's no women, but I don't know. Maybe no one does say yes to them, but who knows? So, the team he has isn't very good. He starts to kind of branch out and try to find more. He gets the Hammer, and he gets the Great Khali, but he, in the words of Caretaker, you need some brothers, as he says. His words, not mine. And so he tries to line up the African Americans, and Michael Irvin tells him to fuck off, basically. But then he's like, hey, I'll play you basketball, and if I win, then you play for me, There's my Adam Sandler impression, you guys. How you know? Ha 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 ha! Shut it! So he agrees to it, but now he wasn't gonna win regardless, but he does get one shot in the basket, and Irvin calls foul. Bullshit. Bullshit. I know he says you call your own fouls, but no, you need someone who is unbiased. Like, get Caretaker to do it. He kind of ducked around, but get someone you can trust to do it, because it's like, you can't call your own fouls, then that just makes it easier to go foul every time something happens that doesn't go your way, which is what happens here is like, Crew gets the basket, it's like foul, and so he doesn't count. And I'm like, you weren't gonna lose anyway. He wasn't gonna win. He wasn't gonna beat you. Just let him have one friggin' point. But you got those people out there sometimes that play the game where it's like, if our opponents even get 1 point, we're not doing the job right. And it's like, no, that's bad sportsmanship. But even though he lost, he gets Nelly because Nelly agrees to play for him. And then eventually the other brothers come in to join the team, especially since the big thing is taking out the guards. So, yeah, eventually they get him into playing mode and they have this big game, right? There's a lot of stuff that goes on, but a lot of, you have inmate Unger, played by the T-Bird from The Crow. David Patrick Kelly, I believe his name is. And yeah, he's snooping for the guards. And when I don't understand why he does this. Crew tries to talk to the warden about it. The warden's already in on it. Why would he care? Obviously the warden's in on it. The warden's probably behind it all. I don't understand. Crew should know that anything that happens to do with the guards team, the warden is probably behind it. So I don't understand why he even brought that to him, but that doesn't stop him. And then we get some in it. I think it goes a little too far. They kill off Caretaker, and I don't understand why. It's like, oh, now they have solidarity. But if they were going to do that, I think you say, okay, go in this. We're doing this for Caretaker. We're gonna kick their ass, and we have solidarity and build it up. But then they do the third act, for lack of a better term, break up. A third act twist sort of thing. A third act slow down. I don't know what to call it, but yeah. Caretaker explodes. He dies. There's a bomb in there. How they got a bomb into a prison? I don't know. It's like I said, the warden's in on it. Most likely. By the way, I have a theory of where that goes after the film ends, but so they get the game. They're doing really good, but the warden is pissed because I told you to assemble a team. I didn't tell you to win, and so he says, "Hey, inmate Unger has implicated you as an accomplice in the murder of Caretaker," which makes no sense. They were friends, and it wouldn't work like that. But he says, either you sit out, you let us win, or you'll be in here for mostly the rest of your life. And there was a character, there's like a janitor or something that hit one of the guards, and it ended up being the future warden. And so now he's there for the rest of his life, and we get to that later when he does ask him, is it worth it? He goes, you're goddamn right. Every goddamn second or whatever. So, yeah, he pretends his knees hurt and he sits out and they start to lose. Everyone gets pissed at him. And this is where I have a little iffiness with this plot. It's like, he decides, because they're not keeping up their end, because they're supposed to back off after a certain point, but they're just laying it in. And so he's like, you know what? Fuck this. He doesn't say that, but in his head, he's like, fuck this. So he goes back in, he asks the guy, was it worth it? He says, goddamn right. And he goes in. But of course, we just can't have them rally together. Nope. They gotta hate him now for just sitting there. But one, why doesn't he tell him? He does eventually, but why doesn't he tell him right away? Hey, I'm sorry for sitting on there, but the warden told me if I didn't, he was going to put me in here for the rest of my life. But you know what? Screw him, because we're going to beat them, you know. Whatever. But no, he just... right, he comes in. Oh, you're right, let's do it. Oh, I'm back. And no, you explain it. He does eventually, but they just hear no. And so they're pissed at him. Because we got to pad out the runtime, I guess. How long is this movie anyway? 113 minutes. Could have been fine as 90 minutes. Who knows? Because there's more padding, it just kind of feels like they're doing it to run out the runtime. Like they needed to have over 100 minutes. But, yeah, so eventually he tells them what's going on, and he does finally admit that he shaved points back in his heyday, and they agree to help, and they win the game, and he earns the respect of William Fichtner. And then we get, like I said, this is where it's basically trying to run out the clock, so to speak, in football terms. He's just trying to stretch the time a little bit, because you see Crew walking as if he's going. It's supposed to be looking like he's going to go out the door and try to escape. And the warden orders one of the guards to shoot him because there's people there. So he orders Fichtner to do it. And Fichtner keeps yelling Crew's name, but he's not answering. Now, here's the problem. If you were trying to escape, if you were a prisoner trying to escape, why would you walk at a normal pace towards the door? If you were going to try to escape, wouldn't you run while no one's looking to try to get out? He's just walking normal. Well, it's slow motion because they want to be dramatic. But he's walking normal. And it's just to get the game ball. Also, William Fichtner says that he's not going to... he's going to back Crew up and not do what the warden says. So, here's my prediction for what happens after the film ends. Because this is basically the end of the movie. Warden gets fired. So here's what I think. The warden's going to try to implicate Crew. But Fichtner stands up for Crew and says that the warden orchestrated everything. The warden knew it about everything. The warden was behind it. Maybe he'll talk Unger to tell the truth too. Which, if they're under oath, they're gonna have to if they end up going to court. But and the warden's gonna get fired. His dreams of being governor, gone. They'll get a new warden. Guarantee. Also, I forgot to mention Burt Reynolds does play in the game. But he says never again. Yeah, honestly, guys, this is a good movie. I enjoyed it. There's just a couple hang-ups, but overall, I'd say The Longest Yard is pretty good. So, what are your thoughts on The Longest Yard? Leave them in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.